or you could take that microphone. I don't know. Or maybe.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, he's got it. Oh man, Brett, not gonna lie, I love you, buddy, but you seem a little groovy. Okay, there was this moment that I was like, has Brett forgotten that he's on mic? Oh no, I know, but I'm like, I think you're being picked up on the mic while Gus is talking.
No.
Hot damn, dude. So, Gus, how close did this end up being to what you were predicting?
Literally exactly what I was predicting. Yeah, like 100% exactly what I was hoping for. Man, y'all were so great. Y'all were so fun on the side. It's so real talk. Like this is what this part is, right?
Yeah.
Real talk. Most of my life, my performing life for the last 2 years, has been performing in my little studio, which is less than a 10 by 10, to myself. And I remember we did our first trivia stream show, and I finished, and I texted, my mom showed up to my first trivia stream show. I texted my mom, and my question was, hey, was that fun?
Dude, and that's no joke, because like if you're an extrovert, like all three of us are,
right?
Well, I mean, you probably manage this better than we do, because we are accustomed to having people clap and feeding us energy that we respond to. Being alone in a booth is so taxing and so hard. And to be honest, like the reason I remember January 1st, 2009 is because that was the day I realized it was like a 3-hour stream, and it was agony to keep it afloat alone with nobody there in the room. Like, I have the deepest respect for anybody doing a one-mic podcast of any variety.
Right, absolutely, yeah. Here's my solution, and I think you'll enjoy this. I was like, I need an audience for my show. So in my studio, I have Lino, Leonardo, Robin, and Gambit set up right in front of my video monitor, right underneath where the chat room is. And the reason why is like, if I was gonna have a suit, because I have a shit ton of like superhero action figures from back when I was a kid. I was like, if I was gonna do a show, who would I do a show for? And I Michelangelo would have been a dick. Raphael wouldn't have laughed at any of my jokes. Right. Batman would have fucked off halfway through my set.
They killed my parents.
Yeah. So I picked like these superheroes that I was like, I mean, Lino's gonna laugh and smile at everything I say, and that's my audience for every show that I do when I'm in my studio by myself.
Well, and the difference of going from 0 to 1 is totally huge. And I know, like, we have one. Forgive me, a real person here.
Yeah.
Audience member would be.
Well, why are you forgiving me for being a real person?
No. Well, I mean, whatever. I'm an asshole. None of us are real. We're all being paid except for Josh, right?
There we go. That's true.
But to have like just one person, and you know what it's like to work like at a community college where it's like all I need is a nucleus. I need one person to perform for, and I can gather the rest of the crowd.
Yep.
That's. On a good night, a big night in here, we have like 5 or 7 again normal humans, real people,
audience members.
Oh yeah,
Is that what?
It's been so long.
he's hardest trivia question of the night. It turns out.
I was gonna make a Succession joke, but even that would have been ridiculous.
But anyway, it's so hard to do it. So in that regard, how many of these? I know you've done live game shows. I know you've done alone in a room game shows. How many of these kind of hybrid events have you done?
Really, the hybrid thing didn't really kick off until people started sort of lifting the restrictions of COVID. And so we've done, I think, 3, I'm going to make that guess, 3 hybrid shows. So, real talk, Brian and I started doing, started in the college entertainment industry. Brian had been in there for a long time, but we started at there was one point where I jumped in where Brian was kind of phasing out and jumping into the virtual world, right?
Yeah.
And so these hybrid events weren't a thing before any of that.
Yeah, this would have been roughly 2008 to 2012 was when I was trying to juggle both live touring and building up the online audience. And I was drifting towards doing more stuff online because by the numbers, I mean, I couldn't deny 300 people saw that show last night.
Right.
3,000 people watched it on Ustream or whatever.
Yeah. Dude, you've been such a big brother to me, man. Like one of the times I remember about you, we'll get back to the hybrid stuff, but one of the things that I remember about you is we were doing a high school grad night, and as an experiment, you were like, I'm just going to live stream myself for 24 hours.
Oh my God, I remember this.
Do you remember this?
Yeah, it was
You were
John
like,
Tilton's first day on the job.
That's exactly right. That's
Yeah.
right. So you were like, I'm going to live stream myself for 24 hours as an experiment. And shenanigans ensued, and we ended up in a hotel room together.
There's an animated GIF out there of me booty dancing for you, and you making it rain on me from that night.
But I remember and this is being honest, I remember very seriously that you're like, dude, there were 70 people that watched me for 24 hours. I can see their numbers, and they were active for 24 hours watching me drive to the middle of nowhere, Texas.
Yeah, shouts out Kuhan. He was one of them.
Oh, dude. Hey, I want to give you a shout out too. In a weird way, I know you from that experience. And that really hit me because it's like when you're a touring performer and you're performing live, yeah, you do your best to try to get as many people to your show as possible. You give as much promo as you can. And whatever theater they put you in, let's say on a really amazing night, you've got 300 people at your event. That's a solid event
It's a great event.
Yeah.
And oftentimes it's like a mandatory event. They have to be there, and they're glad that it happens to be kind of fun and funny.
Right. That's exactly right. Flip the script to where we got into the virtual space, and I remember my very first show where I hit, a pretty decent number on online doing this virtual show that we do, and then later I remember all of the feedback that I started to get through social media and stuff like that, and I was like, oh my God, like I've never gotten that kind of feedback from doing a live show. So yeah, it has been really, really awesome to be able to do these hybrid events where, especially because I do a lot of college shows, we hit a lot of non-traditional students with the hybrid aspect of the show. So we will, people can show up in person, but there's people with kids, there's people with who are like 75 and trying to get their GED for whatever reason it is that they're doing, and we're able to interact with them and hit them in a certain space. So yeah, it's been a big deal.
I do feel like that's going to be I don't want to say the future forever, but certainly the future for the next few years, because everybody is at a different stage of being ready to step outside into the sunlight, and colleges are in the business of making everybody happy, so they're going to want to please both sides.
Right.
And I think you're going to see a lot of live events that are streamed, complete with chat rooms and a presence up on the screen, which to me sounds super awesome. And you, much like doing Scam School, I part of the reason I knew that YouTube was 2005 was because Brian Brushwood on the Road was 2006, and I remember thinking I was already too late.
Right.
I was a year late to be a YouTuber, and it turns out I wasn't. But in that regard, you are ahead of the pack in being comfortable with keeping this afloat. You've got the like a decade of experience touring with the live show. You're an early mover in the virtual space. You could go completely one person to a camera.
Right.
I mean, I'm super stoked. I'm so thankful that you shared this gift with
Man,
with
thank you,
us.
big brother.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I also want to just say one of the big things that I think a lot of live performers miss is that I think, and I've said this on other podcasts and stuff like that, but I think I live and die by the chat room. And I know that you guys, like, you'll have 3 monitors that are just like zoomed in on chat rooms, which is great. But what's great about chat rooms is that, in a live show, you don't get to hear, nobody in a live show is going to be like, That was fun. I enjoyed that.
That was a good reference.
Yeah,
I got
you.
that.
I also like Futurama. Like no one's gonna say that, but in the chat room, people are free to be able to say that, and you're able to connect with people and be like, look, for real. I've got all Futurama on DVD, on I've downloaded it. Like I love Futurama.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a gift. One of the lessons that I've learned over the last 10 plus years doing this is that unlike a live show where you're just shouting at the audience and they can't give, they can only clap. That's
Right.
the only way they can give
That's
back.
their only response.
In this case, the audience can bring you gifts. And when we did the Thanksgiving episode that I was talking about, they brought us all these bizarre videos. So I'm going to give you the gift of one of our favorite bizarre videos.
Let's do it.
This is an
So excited.
actual commercial for a German cola called Afri-Cola. Do we happen to have that?
Die Afri-Cola-Lust.
I
Die
already love
Erde
this.
ist ein Paradies mit Afri-Cola. Lustvolle Gefilde Afri-Cola-hungriger Gefühle. Die Frau wird Frau und frei. Girl Power, Frauenlieb und Männerfreiheit. Heirat oder nicht Heirat, das ist nicht mehr die Frage. Afri-Cola. Die Augen erzählen der Welt, dass sie verliebt sind. Afri-Cola. Menschen, die bewusst ihre Zeit genießen. Bei vollem Verstand. Wach und mobil mit Afri-Cola. Coffee, Tea or Afri. Trink mich.
This is the
Yeah.
best.
No nuns were harmed in the making of this film.
Super.
Super.
Love.
Fully reasonable.
Africa.
Wow. That is
Wow.
everything.
So we have that, and then we
And
have.
then a week later, this happens.
Heirat oder nicht Heirat, das ist nicht mehr die Frage. Die Augen erzählen der Welt, dass sie verliebt sind. Bei vollem Verstand. Coffee, Tea or Afri. Trink mich.
Sexy.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Super.
Super.
Love.
Hey, Brian, I genuinely hope that before, like, right as at the moment that you die, like, right as the lights are fading and the bright light flashes, that's what happens. You get to see your life replayed out with Afri-Cola.
You know what happens next? That happens, and next thing I know, I'm chasing this fucking yellow puck around.
That's a callback. That's a callback. Not just one after, but like all the way through.
Right.
Good job.
Oh. God damn. Dude, I'm spent. I feel like we did it. Bryce, we got any other biz?
No. Check us out on Thanksgiving evening, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're gonna do marbles on the stream. So after dinner, spend some marble time with us.
All right.
Thank you so much, Brett Weaver. Thank you so much, Trivia Stream. Dude, we love you guys. What a blast.
We do.
Thank you.
Bye.